What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Creamer. This is episode number 52, and as we're entering the back end of our third season in charge of the City Ground, and yes, we're sat in 11th in the league, but I still feel pretty optimistic for what the end of the season could bring. You know, we're coming to the end of our third season in charge now, and we achieved Champions League football last season. It doesn't look like we're going to achieve that again this season, but we have put a trophy in the cabinet for the first time. We won the Carabao Cup a couple episodes ago. But since that episode, so I think that Arsenal game was part of a 20-game streak where we only lost once in all competitions. Since then, we have lost 3 of the last 5, and we've had some damaging defeats in there as well, including a 7-1 battering at home to rivals Leeds. However, overall, it has been pretty optimistic in recent times, apart from the fact that we've lost Alexander Isak for 7 months. Let's try and just digest that information and move on. As we face Tottenham in the first game of today's episode, Tottenham's going to be a familiar face you see in the next couple of episodes. We face them 3 more times this month alone. We face them in the league here today, obviously having an awful record at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, losing 2 from 2. This is our third attempt. Tottenham sat in 5th at the moment. We are sat in 11th, but Spurs are only 8 points ahead of us, so despite that 6th place gap, we are only 8 points behind them. So a win here today would really close that gap. And like I said in the last episode, we played Arsenal and Wolves, who are around the positions we are. These positions are so tightly contested for, so it is still all to play for as we go into the last 2-3 episodes of the season. Anyway, headed in, Spurs would take a lead through Leroy Sané. A cross came in, and then the German got to the ball first. We would actually take a 2-1 lead. Taiwo, who else, getting a couple of goals to give us a 2-1 lead before Benacer would equalise for the home side. We would hit the post with a beautiful outside the boot shot. I think that's Nico Williams. And then in the 89th minute, Taiwo Awoniyi is set through on goal, and he gives us what looks like to be our first points at this stadium. Yes, that is plural because it looks like we're going to win this game. Taiwo Awoniyi comes up huge once again with a hat-trick. I don't know how many hat-tricks he's got in this save, but it is another hat-trick for the man. He's put through by Brennan Johnson and smashes the ball home to give us what could be an absolutely valuable 3 points here in North London. And those were his 24th, 25th and 26th league goals of the season, as he looks to go back-to-back in winning the Golden Boot for the league. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, he is going to be hard to hold on to this summer. I know the bids are going to come in for him. We were able to hold them off last summer and in January because we're in the Champions League, we're in the elite competition. It doesn't look like we're going to be in it this season, so it's going to be hard to keep on to our talisman. But that's another concern for another day. In injury time, we almost throw it away. Niakate getting dispossessed by Benacer, who scored Tottenham's second. He had a chance to square it actually to Kane, who would have had an open goal, but he opted to shoot. Henderson came in with a save, and that would be that. Big 3 points in North London. Yes, Tottenham beat us in the last game of last episode in the Champions League at our ground. We've returned the favour here in the league, damaging their top 4 hopes, but also propelling us, giving us hope that we can reach some sort of European football. I think that because we won the Carabao Cup, we should be in a European competition next season, but I don't want to rely on that because I know the game can be buggy sometimes. So, as we look at the league, 31 games played, we're now in 10th, but it is tight. Bournemouth still up there, Arsenal around there as well. That was a huge 3 points for us as we head into the second game of the episode, and well, we didn't need to leave North London because it is Tottenham again at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Obviously this is our Champions League quarter-final second leg. In the last episode, we lost 4-2 at home. Spurs scoring those 2 very, very late goals from Richarlison and Harry Winks, the 2 subs, to give, in this game, Antonio Conte's side a valuable 2-goal lead heading into this one. Taiwo obviously gave us a big win in the stadium just a few days prior. Can he be the hero again? Well, we would need to score at least 3 goals, because if we win this game 2-0, Spurs still go through because they've on away goals rule because they've scored 4. So we would have to score 3 goals at least in this game. It's going to be a tough one for sure, but I think winning here just a few days ago gave me a bit of belief, a bit of feeling that we can do it. Spurs resting Harry Kane. I mean, the game just doesn't rotate players. Kane in that last game, having played like 3 days prior, was absolutely knackered after like 10 minutes. So the game doesn't really like to rotate players. I wish that's something they would work on. We obviously have been rotating. And it's a fairly strong side, you know. I know that I think the league is our priority right now, but it's still a strong side. Pretty much our starting 11 that would play most games, obviously without the likes of Isak up top. So in my head, yes, we need 3 goals, but I was just thinking, let's get an early goal, try and settle the nerves and see what we can do, silence the crowd. Well, just 4 minutes into the game, Leroy Sané into Bentancur, Richarlison with a lovely flick to Minayin. Ah, God. Well, I said I wanted an early goal. Tottenham, I guess, also said that. They thought if they get an early goal, that means we have to score 4 on the night. And it would just get the crowd behind them. And it was the perfect start for the host. They would go 1-0 up. The flick from Richarlison is beautiful. And then the Spaniard finishes, drills it low past Dean Henderson, and gives Tottenham what surely should be an unassailable lead now on aggregate. Obviously, they lead just 1-0 on the night, but 5-2, and leaving us requiring 4 goals. Going into the second half, it was a pretty inactive game. Tottenham, after that early goal, just sort of tried to shut up shop, and we were trying to push, but obviously needing 4 goals, it was just getting more and more unrealistic as time went on. In the 78th minute, we would make it 1-0 on the night's ankle with a beautiful finish in off the post, but it would not be. And that would end our Champions League dreams for this season, and probably for next season as well, unless we have a miracle run in the league for the last 7 games. Antonio Conte's side knock us out of Europe's elite competition. And do you know what? For our first season back in this competition, and I didn't expect us to be in the Champions League in our 3rd season, I think we did really well. You know, from match day 1, winning in Turin against Juventus with the Benjamin Farmer 94th minute winner, to battering Lazio in the last 16 away. Granted, they did batter us at home. I just think we had a really, really good run. You know, we went unbeaten in the group, winning 5 of 6. Had a fantastic campaign, and definitely something that we want to try and propel us to get back in this competition. I don't think it'll be likely that we'll be in this competition next season, so we have to try and just compete in competitions, you know, in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League. The board did want us to reach Champions League football though, so it will be interesting to see if they even keep me on next season. They might fire me. Granted, I did spend about 150 million as well of their money in the summer, so fingers crossed we can hold on to the job. As we look at the draw as well for the Champions League semi-finals, Tottenham faced Man City, so more English opposition we would have faced if we had made it through. But unfortunately we didn't. I think the quarterfinals though is very respectable indeed. We're going into the 3rd and final game of the episode. It's back to league action, and this is our priority now until the end of the season. 7 league games from now until the end. And we face Chelsea, a very, very difficult side in Chelsea. They're sat in 4th right now, looking to push for European football, and a side who we haven't picked up a point against in this career mode so far. 4 games, 4 defeats against the Blues. We've actually played well against them in multiple games, especially at the Bridge, but they always just seem to score late goals against us, especially Patrick Schick, who always loves a goal against us. Well, if we can secure some sort of points here, this would be another huge victory. We're 18 minutes in after Chelsea have a corner. We go down the other end, Sayanka with a lovely ball over the top to Nico Williams, and the Spaniard, who is just on flames right now, puts it past Mendy, and we lead 1-0 in what is a huge game for us. All we've done recently, I feel like, is play teams that are around us. Wolves, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. These are big games, and as Nico picks up his 5th goal since joining in January, we take a 1-0 lead, and then Dean Henderson with a lovely save to keep the scoreline at 1-0. And then this, I had to show you a slow-mo replay of this just a second, because this tackle was pretty outrageous. It was only a yellow card for Enzo Fernandez, but if we see the replay here, he's off the floor, diving in, both studs up. This is just outrageous. If this is real life, that's a red card. Maxime Lopez, again, he always seems to be the one that's being fouled in the middle of the park. He's lucky to walk away injury-free. And Enzo Fernandez is lucky to still be on the pitch. Well, into the second half, again, it was a quiet game. We were looking to keep Chelsea quiet after leading 1-0. Dean Henson had to come up with another save. And then 25 minutes to go, Viktor Sayankov goes from provider to goal scorer. Adds a goal to his assist for the game as he gives us a 2-0 lead. A really nice finish after a great drag back. As beautiful, he just opens up his body and side foots it into the far corner. I love that camera angle from inside the goal. And then with 15 minutes to go, Nico Williams again, who was an absolute menace all game, plays it to his namesake. He goes to Taiwo. Taiwo cuts it to Renan Lodi. But the Brazilian fires just wide as he looks for his second league goal of the season. And then deep into injury time, Chelsea just could not break us open. And we pick up our first points against Chelsea in this career mode. It's been an episode of first. First points won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. First points picked up against Chelsea. And it's a clean sheet as well. A clean sheet for Dean. That's a really, really good response after going out in the Champions League in midweek. And I think overall a good episode. Yes, we did get knocked out of the Champions League, but it was an unbeaten episode and we beat Tottenham away and Chelsea at home. Two teams around us, not around us, but above us in the league. So very big victories for us there as we look at the league table. 6 games to go. We're sat in 9th, 48 points. We're only 4 points off 6th. Yes, I think the top 4 is probably a bit unattainable now. Chelsea 11 points ahead of us, but 5th, maybe 5th, but 6th or 7th, definitely attainable for us. I think we even have a game in hand. As we look down the bottom, West Brom still winless. 32 games in. West Brom have 6 games to stop themselves being history makers for the wrong reasons. Well, that will be it for today's episode, episode 52. I'll see you in episode 53 very soon, the penultimate episode of season 3. If you're enjoying the series, drop it a like, as always, and we're on our road to 250 subs, so drop the channel sub if you're enjoying the content. I'll catch you very soon. Peace.